Americans often find themselves unwelcome in certain countries around the world. Despite America's global popularity, there are places where U.S. citizens might face a chilly reception. Whether due to political tensions, safety concerns, or other reasons, these destinations don't always roll out the red carpet. In 2024, some countries are particularly cautious about welcoming Americans. For instance, 10 nations have been highlighted where U.S. citizens might encounter challenges or restrictions. However, amidst these complexities, there's always the hope for understanding and positive interactions between people of different nations. Number 10. Myanmar, with a population nearing 55 million as of 2024, is a Southeast Asian nation marred by recent tumultuous events. Since the military coup in February 2021, the country has been embroiled in civil unrest and armed conflict, significantly impacting daily life. For Americans contemplating travel here, navigating through visa applications is just the start. The process alone takes a minimum of 3 working days. However, the U.S. government strongly advises against travel to Myanmar due to ongoing issues, including erratic enforcement of local laws and limited healthcare infrastructure. This cautionary stance stems from a landscape fraught with instability and humanitarian concerns. Moreover, U.S. sanctions against Myanmar further complicate matters, making American tourists unwelcome visitors amid the country's fraught political climate. Number 9. Yemen. Yemen, home to approximately 30 million people, remains a nation deeply entrenched in conflict since 2015, resulting in a dire humanitarian crisis. For American travelers, Yemen offers anything but a warm reception. The U.S. State Department strongly advises against visiting due to ongoing civil unrest, terrorism threats, kidnapping risks, and the pervasive armed conflict. Securing a visa as an American is a daunting task, given Yemen's stringent visa policies and the country's unstable conditions. Even if one manages to obtain entry, the environment is far from hospitable. Anti-American sentiments are prevalent due to perceived U.S. involvement in the conflict and drone operations. Consequently, Yemen is far from an ideal vacation destination, presenting significant challenges and hazards for potential visitors from the United States. Number 8. Somalia. Somalia, a nation of approximately 15 million people, presents a challenging landscape for American visitors. This stems from factors like political instability and security issues. In a strategic move in May 2022, President Joe Biden sanctioned the redeployment of U.S. troops to confront al-Shabaab insurgents. This decision, crucial for defense, complicates the reception of American tourists. The visa process is notably rigorous, marked by bureaucratic hurdles that can sour the experience and genuine security threats. Against the backdrop of a dire humanitarian crisis with millions displaced and food scarcity rampant, Somalia's environment is far from inviting. Number 7. Venezuela. Venezuela, with a population exceeding 28 million, maintains a strained relationship with the U.S. marked by economic sanctions, political disputes, and mutual distrust. By August 2023, economic turmoil had forced over 7.7 million Venezuelans to emigrate, underscoring the severe conditions many endure. For Americans wishing to visit, navigating the visa process proves challenging amid a skeptical and sometimes hostile environment. Once inside Venezuela, the high cost of living and pervasive tension create a delicate daily existence akin to walking on eggshells. Despite approximately 23,000 U.S. citizens residing primarily in Caracas, a sense of being unwelcome guests persists in a nation divided by politics and economic hardship. Number 6. Libya. Libya, with a population around 7 million, is a country whose narrative rivals the twists of a Game of Thrones season. For Americans, however, a visit isn't the golden ticket it might be elsewhere. The U.S. Department of State advises against travel to Libya due to severe risks: crime, terrorism, civil unrest, kidnapping, and armed conflict. The relationship between the U.S. and Libya, especially strained since the 2012 Benghazi attack, exacerbates these concerns. Security measures have tightened considerably, making Libya a daunting prospect for American travelers. Obtaining a visa is notoriously difficult. Libya imposes stringent requirements, adding layers of complexity. An additional hurdle: Libyan authorities refuse entry to anyone with an Israeli stamp in their passport. This policy reflects broader geopolitical tensions and complicates travel logistics further. Number 5. Syria. Syria, a nation steeped in rich culture and history, has sadly been eclipsed by years of conflict. The current population grapples with the harsh realities of civil war, making it an unwelcoming place for Americans. The U.S. has issued a severe Level 4 travel advisory for Syria, highlighting risks including terrorism, civil unrest, kidnapping, and armed conflict. The Syrian government's stance towards Americans remains hostile, entangled in a complex geopolitical web of sanctions, military actions, and diplomatic standoffs. Securing a visa to enter Syria is akin to finding a needle in a haystack, with daunting hoops reflecting strained U.S.-Syrian relations. Even if one navigates this process successfully, the environment can be daunting due to ongoing conflict and general suspicion towards foreigners, especially Americans, given the U.S. regional political involvement. Number 4. Afghanistan. Afghanistan, with its population of approximately 38 million, stands out as a country where Americans might find a less than welcoming atmosphere, and for several compelling reasons. Over the decades, it has become a focal point of intense geopolitical tensions. Currently, the U.S. Department of State strongly advises against travel to Afghanistan for U.S. citizens due to the severe risks posed by terrorism, potential wrongful detentions, kidnappings, and rampant crime. This advisory underscores a stark reality. Visiting Afghanistan is fraught with danger, making it a place where travelers are urged to reconsider their plans altogether. The security situation in Afghanistan is perilous, characterized by the presence of multiple active terrorist groups. American citizens, in particular, are singled out as prime targets for kidnappings and wrongful detentions, making any visit a potentially life-threatening endeavor. Imagine planning a trip only to discover that you are inadvertently on the most wanted list of a group you'd never even heard of. Such scenarios are not uncommon in Afghanistan's unpredictable landscape. Moreover, obtaining a visa for Afghanistan is not merely a formality but a daunting process in itself. U.S. citizens must navigate through stringent requirements, including presenting a valid passport and securing an Afghan visa ahead of their arrival. Failure to comply can result in deportation, passport confiscation, and hefty fines, emphasizing Afghanistan's cautious approach towards admitting foreign visitors. The bureaucratic hurdles serve as a clear message. Those wishing to enter Afghanistan must justify their presence in a country on edge. Number 3. Iraq. Iraq, with a population of approximately 40 million people, has a complex history with the United States, largely stemming from the 2003 U.S.-led invasion, justified by concerns over weapons of mass destruction. Since then, relations between the two nations have been strained. Americans seeking to visit Iraq face numerous challenges. The visa process, for instance, resembles solving a Rubik's Cube blindfolded. While visas on arrival are possible at airports, obtaining an exit stamp can be exceptionally difficult. The application process itself is a lengthy ordeal, often taking up to 12 working days, necessitating a valid passport. It's less of a welcome and more of a stringent evaluation to justify entry. Beyond bureaucratic hurdles, security concerns loom large. The situation is akin to walking a tightrope over a canyon. Reports abound of government officials engaging in torture and other forms of inhumane treatment. Various armed groups further complicate the landscape, underscoring Iraq's ongoing struggle for stability. The legacy of conflict and occupation has left deep scars on Iraq's societal fabric. Reconstruction efforts have been slow amid ongoing security challenges and political instability. The presence of foreign troops and contractors adds another layer of complexity to Iraq's internal dynamics. Despite these challenges, Iraq boasts a rich cultural heritage and a resilient population striving for a better future. The country's history spans millennia, with contributions to art, literature, and science that resonate globally. Cities like Baghdad, Mosul, and Erbil have historical significance dating back centuries. Navigating Iraq's current landscape requires a nuanced understanding of its complex realities. The nation stands at a crossroads, balancing aspirations for peace and development with the legacies of conflict and external interventions. Number 2. Arent. Arent, with its population of approximately 83 million, boasts ancient history and breathtaking landscapes, but navigating its complexities as an American traveler requires careful consideration. The roots of strained relations between Iran and the United States trace back to the infamous 1979 Iran hostage crisis. During this tumultuous event, Iranian students seized the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, leading to a protracted 444-day standoff that left a lasting mark on diplomatic ties. Today, the relationship remains frosty, underscored by the U.S. State Department's stern Level 4 travel advisory for Iran, cautioning against non-essential travel due to risks like terrorism, civil unrest, and the arbitrary detention of U.S. citizens. American visitors, especially those with dual nationality, face significant risks. They might find themselves detained under charges ranging from espionage to posing threats to national security, a situation exacerbated by the lack of formal diplomatic ties between the two nations. Securing a visa to enter Iran is another formidable challenge for U.S. citizens. The process is arduous, often taking 1 to 3 months for approval, followed by additional waiting periods for embassy appointments, making it a test of patience and perseverance. Financially, Iran operates predominantly on cash transactions since international credit and debit cards are not widely accepted. This necessitates travelers to carry ample cash and be adept at bargaining in local markets, where electronic payment methods are virtually non-existent. However, beyond these complexities, Iran beckons with its rich cultural tapestry and historical wonders. In Tehran, bustling markets offer a vibrant slice of Iranian life, while the ancient ruins of Persepolis stand testament to the country's storied past. Hospitality towards visitors, including Americans, is often warm and genuine on a personal level, reflecting Iran's tradition of welcome. Yet traversing Iran demands vigilance and respect for its socio-political landscape. While ordinary Iranians may extend kindness and hospitality, travelers must remain cautious amid the country's intricate political dynamics. The juxtaposition of warmth and caution defines the American experience in Iran, where curiosity about its treasures must be tempered with awareness of the challenging realities. Exploring this geographically diverse nation promises rewards for the intrepid traveler willing to navigate its complexities with care and understanding. Number 1. North Korea. North Korea, officially the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, DPRK, remains a mysterious and highly controlled nation, hosting around 25 million people who live under intense scrutiny and regulation. This country's relationship with the United States has been tumultuous, marked by decades of political tensions, nuclear threats, and a technically unresolved war since the armistice of 1953. Americans contemplating a visit to North Korea face daunting obstacles and serious risks. The U.S. government strongly discourages travel to the DPRK due to the high likelihood of arrest and prolonged detention. The tragic case of Otto Warmbier, a student who died shortly after being released from North Korean custody, serves as a chilling reminder of the dangers involved. He was arrested for allegedly attempting to steal a propaganda poster, an act that resulted in a coma and later his death upon return to the U.S. Since September 1, 2017, the U.S. has banned its citizens from using their passports to enter North Korea, except for highly restricted circumstances. This policy effectively bars American tourists from visiting the country, erecting a formidable barrier to entry. Even before this ban, obtaining a visa as an American was exceedingly difficult, requiring coordination with specialized travel agencies and participation in tightly controlled tour groups. Once inside North Korea, visitors are strictly monitored and must adhere to stringent rules governing behavior, photography, and interactions with locals. Visiting North Korea as an American is akin to navigating a minefield of restrictions and surveillance. There are severe limitations on freedom of movement, speech, and expression, rights often taken for granted in other parts of the world. Any perceived misstep, such as unauthorized communication with locals or making critical remarks about the country's leadership, can swiftly lead to arrest and detention.